Hey everyone, and welcome back to another movie reaction. Today we will be watching 12 Angry Men. This was recommended to me in my comments on one of my YouTube videos, and then it took part in a poll on Patreon. I am very excited to watch this movie as I know it is quite a classic. It was filmed in 1957 and it is in black and white, which is awesome because I believe I've only seen one or two black and white movies, which would be An Affair to Remember and Psycho. If I'm not mistaken, this takes place in a courthouse where the jury have to decide on a verdict as to whether someone is guilty or innocent. I also saw on IMDb that this is rated 9 out of 10, so I'm very keen to see why that is. If you want to show my channel a little bit of love, you can always like this video and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, if you want to watch my full-length reaction to this and all of my other movie and TV show full-length reactions, you can join on my Patreon. I've got the links in the description below and also in my bio. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into our movie today, 12 Angry Men.
Now your duty to sit down and try and separate the facts from the fancy. One man is dead. Another man's life is at stake.
Yep.
If there's a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, a reasonable doubt, then you must bring me a verdict of not guilty.
Yeah.
Now, if, however, there's no reasonable doubt, then you must, in good conscience, find the accused guilty.
So we haven't found out any of the evidence or information yet, so I'm guessing it's gonna... Oh wow, is he really young? Oh my gosh, he's a kid. Shit. Wow. I'm really excited to, I guess, hear what evidence they have. And obviously this is going to be a discussion back and forth, I guess, for and opposed, or guilty, not guilty. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder if, like, most of the film is shot in this one room, because that would be really cool.
The hottest day of the year. Well, you'd think that at least air condition these places.
So is that going to come into effect as well? It's like they're so hot in there, they just want to get out. So let's get it over and done with.
Here.
This has been a long take.
Oh, I thought we might want to vote by ballot.
Great idea. Maybe we can get him elected senator.
Yeah, I guess just to see where everyone's at, first and foremost, and then go from there.
Yeah, let's get going. Huh? We probably all got things to do here. Well, I figure we'd start out.
This has all still been one take.
Hey, it's got a bad view, huh?
I love how it just keeps following the different conversations.
What did you think of the case? I mean, it had a lot of interest for me.
He thinks he's innocent, doesn't he?
Dead spots, you know what I mean?
Asking grown-up people who believe that kind of jazz, huh?
I expect that. You know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I guess.
Just keeps
One
going.
works, now try your lights. What do you got, a cold?
And how these hot weather colds can kill you. I can hardly touch my nose. You know what I mean?
You sure do.
Hot weather cold.
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, they just want to get it over and done
with.
with.
That tickets to that ball game tonight. Yanks and Cleveland.
I beg pardon?
It hasn't cut yet, right?
The way he hammered home those points one by one. Magical sequence.
Say, we'd like to get started. Gentlemen at the window.
All right, first
We'd like to
cut.
get started.
Yeah?
Sorry. Pretty tough to figure, isn't it, kid?
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's vote. Who knows, maybe we can all get out of here, huh?
Uh-huh. Okay, then I think that, of course, you know that we have a first-degree murder charge here, and if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair.
Shit.
That's mandatory.
They're all
Okay,
going to
we ready?
vote guilty except
All
the
those
one in
voting
the white
guilty,
jacket.
please raise your hands.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. All those voting not guilty? 1. Right.
Yeah.
11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well,
Could you imagine all 12 of them? And it's like, all right, maybe
Oh,
over.
boy, there's always one.
There's always one.
Oh, what do we do now?
You gotta have it out. You
Yes,
gotta
we talk.
Yeah,
Boy,
you gotta
oh,
discuss.
He's 18 years old.
Well, that's old enough. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. They proved it a dozen different ways in court. Would you like me to list them for you?
No. Then what do you want? I just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about? 11 men in here think he's guilty. No one had to think about it twice except you.
I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story? I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So how come you vote not guilty?
Well, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Yeah, fair.
Well, who says it's easy?
No one.
Well, just because I voted fast? I honestly think the guy's guilty.
Okay.
Couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here. This kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. He lived for a year and a half in an orphanage when his father was serving a jail term for forgery. It's not a very happy beginning. He's a wild, angry kid. That's all he's ever been. And you know why? Because he's been hit on the head by somebody once a day, every day.
Seems to me that it's up to the group of us to convince this gentleman that he's wrong and we're right. Now, maybe if we each took a couple of minutes just to...
Oh, gosh.
Well, it was just a quick idea.
No. That's a good one.
Go for
Suppose
it.
we go once around the table. I guess you're first.
Well, it's hard to put into words.
You
I
got
just think he's
it.
guilty.
You
I thought it was
can't.
obvious from the word go.
I want to talk about facts.
All right, give it to me.
Number 1. The old man lived downstairs under the room where the killing took place.
Mm-hmm.
At 10 minutes after 12 on the night of the killing, he heard loud noises. Said it sounded like a
Okay.
fight. And he heard the kid yell out, "I'm going to kill you." Second later, he heard a body hit the floor. Ran to the door, opened it up, saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. Called the police. They came in, found the old man with a knife in his chest. The coroner fixed the time of death around midnight.
He claimed he was at the movies during the time of the killing, and yet 1 hour later, he couldn't remember the names of the films he saw or who played in them.
That's right.
And no one saw him going in or out of the theater.
Listen,
Okay.
what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing does. That's right.
Right,
She
so
was
he's
the
got a
one who
lot of-
actually saw the killing.
Now, fellas, please,
Stuff.
let's go on order here, huh?
Just a minute.
Stacked up against
Here's a
him.
woman. Here's a woman who's lying in bed. She can't sleep. She's dying with the heat. You know what I mean? Anyway, she looks out the window, and right across the street, she sees the kid stick the knife into his father. The time is 12:10 on the nose. Everything fits. They proved in court that at night you can look through the windows of an L train when the lights are out and see what's happening on the other side. They proved it. I'd like to ask you something. You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she? You're a pretty smart fella, aren't you?
Okay, gentlemen. Gentlemen.
Come on, sit down. Sit down.
What's he so wise about?
Oh, I love this
telling
back
you.
and
now,
forth.
come on, now, we're not
I'm
gonna get anywhere
living
fighting.
for it.
When I was a kid, I used to call my father Sir. That's right, Sir. You ever hear a kid call his father that anymore?
Fathers don't seem to think it's important anymore.
You got any kids?
3?
I got one. 22 years old. When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so embarrassed, I almost threw up.
Ugh.
I said, I'm going to make a man out of you if I have to break you in two trying.
Far out.
Well, I made a man out of him. When he was 16, we had a fight. Hit me in the jaw. He's a big kid. Haven't seen him for 2 years.
Far out.
Kids.
Imagine if that
Work
was
your
your
heart
kid.
out.
You know,
Oh, that's good.
on trial at the moment. Something's
One of the
changing,
reasons
yeah?
Why he grew up the way he did. He was born in a slum.
Is
Slums
it?
are breeding grounds for criminals. I know it, and so do you. It's no secret children from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society. Now, I think...
Brother, you can say that again. The kids who crawl out of these places are real trash. I don't want
What's
any part of
happening
them,
here?
I'm telling you.
Listen, I've lived in a slum all my life. I mean,
Wait a minute.
Please, I've played in backyards that were filled with garbage. I mean, maybe you can still smell it on me.
I didn't expect a turn. I thought you were all going to try to convince me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Check, that was the idea.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's right. Well, what difference does it make? He's the one who's keeping us in here. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Everybody sounded so positive. You know, I began to get a peculiar feeling about this trial. I mean, nothing is that positive. There are a lot of questions I'd have liked to ask. I don't know, maybe they wouldn't have meant anything, but I began to get the feeling that the defense counsel wasn't conducting a thorough enough cross-examination. I mean, he let too many things go by, little things that...
What little things?
Yeah.
Listen.
If I was on trial for my life, I'd want my lawyer to tear the prosecution witnesses to shreds, or at least try to.
Yeah.
Look, there was one alleged eyewitness to this killing.
Okay.
Someone else claims he heard the killing, saw the boy run out afterwards, and there was a lot of circumstantial evidence. But actually, those two witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. Supposing they're wrong.
What do you mean, supposing they're wrong?
That's very
What's the
true.
point of having witnesses at all?
Could they be wrong?
What are you trying to say? Those people sat on the stand under oath.
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
Well, no, I don't think so.
You know so.
Oh, come on, nobody can know a
I
thing
love
like that.
this. I
isn't
love
an exact
it.
science.
That's right, it isn't.
I'm like invested. I'm so invested.
The knife this fine, upright boy admitted buying the night of the killing. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and look at it. I'd like to see it again, Mr. Foreman.
Now, are you trying to tell me that this knife really fell through a hole in the boy's pocket? Someone picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house, and stabbed his father with it just to test its sharpness?
No, I'm just saying it's possible the boy lost his knife and that somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's just possible.
Take a look
It
at
is.
this knife. It's a very unusual knife. I've never seen one like it. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to the boy. Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Where did that come from?
It's the same knife.
Here I
Where did you get it?
I went out walking for a couple of hours last night. I walked through the boy's neighborhood.
That
I
was
bought that at a little pawn
great.
shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house. It cost $6.
It's against the law to buy or sell switchblade knives.
That's right, I broke the law.
Odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible.
But not very
It
probable.
is.
Okay, fellas, let's take our seats. There's no point standing around all over.
Whew, that was good.
It was very important to the district attorney. He spent a whole day.
He's a 15th assistant or something. What does he know about
Yeah,
it?
if somebody's like, this is so rare, you know, yeah, you can't just buy
Well, what
this
about it?
anywhere. Whereas,
You're the
like,
only one.
this juror has obviously bought it and it was quite easy. You know, if you're going to spend that much time on a piece of evidence,
I have a proposition to make to all of you.
and he's kind of just
What do you call it
squashed
from
it
the
right
vote?
there.
I want you 11 men to vote by secret written ballot.
Okay.
I'll abstain. If there are 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand alone. We'll take in a guilty verdict to the judge right now. But if anyone votes not guilty, we stay here and talk it out.
There's going to be someone else, at least one other person.
Is that the right time?
It's going to be the guy who said he
Guilty.
also lives in the slums.
Guilty.
Okay.
Guilty.
Sorry.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Shit.
Guilty.
Yes. Yes.
Not guilty. Guilty. Boy, how do you like that?
Oh, and another chap flips his wings.
All right. Who was it? Come on, I want to
Amazing.
know. Telling us fairy tales and we're listening. Hey, come on, huh?
What made you
This is what
change
it's
your vote?
about.
He didn't change his vote. I did.
Ooh.
I know it.
Would you like me to tell you why?
Yes, tell
No, I
me.
would like you to tell me why.
Well, I'd like to make it clear anyway, if you don't mind.
Do we have to listen to this?
The man wants to talk.
Yeah.
This gentleman has been standing alone against us. Now, he doesn't say the boy is not guilty. He just isn't sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's not easy to stand alone against the ridicule of others, so he gambled for support. And I gave it to him. I respect his motives.
Okay.
The boy on trial is probably guilty, but I want to hear more.
Okay,
Right
so
now,
somebody
vote is
thinks
10 to 2. I'm talking here. You have
he's
no
not
right to leave this
Can't
room.
hear you. He never will. Let's sit down.
Yeah, that's a thing.
You, down there. The old man who lived downstairs says he heard the kid yell out, "I'm going to kill you." Second later, he heard the body hit the floor. Now, he ran to the door, and he saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. What does that mean to you?
Well, I was wondering how clearly the old man could have heard the boy's voice through the ceiling.
Didn't hear it through the ceiling. The window was open. So was the one upstairs. It was a hot night, remember?
It was another apartment. It's not that easy to identify a voice, particularly a shouting voice.
Identified it in
Yeah.
course.
That's right. And don't forget the lady across the street. She looked right in the open window
And like,
saw
did
the boy
he,
stab
when
his
he was
father.
running
Oh,
down
I mean,
the stairs,
isn't
did
that
he see
enough
his
for you?
face? Did he see the back of his head?
Boy, how do you like that?
I lived in a second-floor apartment near the L line once. When the window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can hardly hear yourself think. The old man in the apartment downstairs. He says he heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," and a
Yeah.
split second later heard a body hit the floor. 1 second later, right?
That's right.
Second.
Yeah.
The woman across the street swore positively she looked out of the window
How?
and saw the killing
And
through the
saw
last two
it.
cars of a passing elevator
So the
train,
train
right? The
would have
last
been
two
going by.
cars.
Well, what are you
Yeah.
giving us here?
Just a minute. We've
So
agreed
how would he
that
have
it takes
heard?
10
And
seconds
the window
for
was
a train to
open.
pass a given point.
Yep.
Since the woman saw the killing through the last two cars, we can assume that the body hit the floor just as the train went by.
Yeah.
Therefore, the train had been roaring by the old man's window a full 10 seconds before the body hit the floor. The old man, according to his own testimony, "I'm going to kill you," body hitting the floor a split second later, would have had to hear the boy make this statement with the yell roaring past his nose. It's not possible he could have heard it.
Something I don't think he could have heard it. Maybe he didn't hear it. I mean, with all that L noise.
Oh, what are you people talking
Well, it
about?
stands to reason he couldn't have heard it.
Perhaps he made himself believe he heard those words
Yeah.
and recognized the boy's
It is a
face.
possibility.
That's the
I
most.
think we proved that the old man couldn't have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you." But supposing he did.
prove it at all. What are you
Wait
talking
a minute.
about?
Supposing he really did hear it. This phrase, how many times have all of us used it? Probably thousands. "I could kill you for that, darling." "Junior, you do that once more and I'm going to kill you." "Get in there, Rocky, and kill you." Say it every day. That doesn't mean we're really going to kill him.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to give us here? The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you." The kid yelled it at the top of his lungs. Don't tell me you didn't mean it. Anybody says a thing like that the way he said it, they mean it.
Well, gee, now, I don't know.
I would like, please, to say something.
Go on.
I have been listening very carefully, and it seems to me that this man has some very good points to make.
He had to get it before the police did.
But if he knew the knife could be
Wouldn't he have just
why
taken
did
it?
he leave it there in the first place?
Exactly.
Well, I think we can assume the boy ran out in a state of panic after having just killed his father. When he finally calmed down, he realized he had left his knife there.
Ah, this then depends on your definition of panic. He would have had to be calm enough to see to it that there were no fingerprints left on the knife. Now, where did this panic start and where did it end?
Look, you
Good
voted
question.
guilty. What side are you on?
I think there's enough doubt that we can wonder whether he was there at all during the time the killing took place.
What do you mean, Del? What are you talking about? Didn't the old man see him running out of the house? He's twisting the facts, I'm telling you. Did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10? Well, did or didn't he?
He says he did.
Says he did.
Yeah,
Boy,
he said
how do you
he
like
did.
that?
Oh,
Keep
they're all
saying
getting
that. Maybe what we
so
need is a little
worked
yelling
up.
in here. These guys keep going off every which way. Letting
Another call for
everybody
another
hear.
vote.
I'm talking here.
Another vote called for. Now let's take our seats.
Guilty, 9
Come
guilty.
on, come on, you know you want to.
Yakety yak here next Tuesday.
Oh, there's something ticking in there.
Pardon? I vote not guilty.
What is
Oh, this is
about? I mean, we're all
great.
going crazy in here or something. The
They
kid
just
is
thought they were
guilty.
going to
Why
go
don't
in
you
there.
listen to the
It was going to be like a really quick
Tell 'em, will ya?
decision,
This
and that
gonna
was
be a
it.
joke.
Did the old man say he ran to the door? Ran? Walked? What's the difference? He got on, did he? I mean, he got there, didn't he?
No, well, wait a second.
He
said he ran. At least I think he did.
Now, look, I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could have run to the door.
He said he went from his bedroom to the front door. Now, isn't that enough?
Where was the bedroom?
It was down the
In
hall
15
somewhere.
Thought you remembered
seconds.
everything. Don't you remember that?
Get 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
There you go. Oh, you just shot yourself in the foot.
I don't see what you're going to prove here. The man said he...
You make it sound like a long walk.
For an old man who had a stroke, it
They're
is a
going to
long
do
walk.
it. He's going to do it.
What are you doing?
I'm going to try it, see how long it took him.
What do you mean you want to try it? Why didn't his lawyer bring it up if it's so
Well,
important?
maybe he just didn't think about it.
What do you mean?
Lock, Door. Stop.
Right.
What's the time?
Exactly 41 seconds.
Here's what I think happened. The old man heard the fight between the boy and his father a few hours earlier. Then when he's lying in his bed, he heard a body hit the floor in the boy's apartment, heard the woman scream from across the street, got to his front door as fast as he could, heard somebody racing down the stairs, and assumed it was the boy.
Slipped through our fingers.
Slipped through our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you bet I would.
I feel sorry for you. What it must feel like to want to pull the switch. Ever since you walked into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him, I'll kill him!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
See? He just keeps putting him in his place.
What are you looking at?
Oh, look at them all gathered in one spot. It's almost like it's going to flip on its head. No, just take your ties down a little bit. And
Don't you ever sweat?
No, I don't. Okay, I'll call up the jury numbers.
Right.
1. Oh, that's me. I could vote guilty. 2.
Not guilty.
Number
1.
3.
Guilty.
Guilty. Yeah, we know.
Number 4. Guilty. Number 5.
Not guilty.
Guilty. Yes.
Number 6.
Not guilty.
Number 7.
Guilty.
Of course.
Number 8.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Number 9.
Not guilty.
Number
Oh,
10.
wow.
Guilty.
Okay.
Number 11.
Not guilty.
Number 12. Number 12.
Guilty.
Oh, 6 for 6.
Say that business before when that tall guy, what's his name, was trying to bait me. And that doesn't prove anything. I'm a pretty excitable person. I mean, where does he come off calling me? A public avenger, sadist and everything? I mean, anyone in his right mind would blow a stack. Huh? You're just trying to bait me.
He did an excellent job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what After the boy claimed he'd been at the movies during the hours that the killing took place, couldn't remember the names of the movies or the stars who appeared in them.
Yeah.
This gentleman here has brought that point in here several times.
That's correct. It's the only alibi the boy offered, and he himself couldn't back it up with any details at all.
Putting yourself in the boy's place, do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience such as being slapped in the face by your father?
Monday night, my wife and I went to the movies.
What did you see?
The Scarlet Circle. It is a very clever whodunit.
What was the second feature?
I'll tell you in a minute, the remarkable Mrs. Something, Mrs. Bainbridge, the remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge.
I saw that. It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
Yes, the amazing Mrs. Bainbridge. I think that's right.
Who was in The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge?
Barbara Long, I think it was. A dark, very pretty girl. Or Lynn or Long, something like that.
Who else?
I'd never heard of them before. It's a very inexpensive second feature with unknown.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
Oh, look at that sweat.
No. I wasn't.
Dab that away.
I think the point is made.
Big
Yeah,
boy.
100%.
What's it all?
Nobody's hurt. Now, this is the way I'd stab a man who was taller than I was.
Really? You wouldn't
Look
go
at the
in?
angle. Down and in. And this is the way it was done.
Well, he'd never use it like this. See, you lose too much time switching hands.
Ah.
Here's how. Underhanded.
Yeah, you'd be like, duh, and then,
Anyone who's ever used the switch knife wouldn't handle it any other way.
You'd want another vote.
Okay, there's another vote
and the
called
other
for.
guy, right?
Just the
He's going to
quickest
do
way to show of
it.
hands.
He's like
Anyone object?
sussing everyone out.
Okay, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Who? Yeah, knew it.
9.
Oh.
Those voting guilty?
Real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Well, nobody's blaming them for it. That's the way they are, by nature. You know what I mean? Violent. Where are you going? Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Look,
What?
they're lushing it up and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. Oh, sure, there's some good things about them, too. You're making a big mistake, you people. This kid is a liar. I know it. I know all about them.
You're showing your true colours, mate.
They're no good. There's not a one of them who's any good.
Listen, I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again.
Yeah.
It's
Have a
always
long think about what
difficult
you
to keep
said.
personal prejudice out of a thing like this. And wherever you run into it, prejudice always obscures the truth. Reasonable doubt. And that's something that's very valuable in our system. No jury can declare a man guilty unless it's sure.
Yeah.
We 9 can't understand how you 3 are still so sure.
Wondering why you rub your nose like that. Because of your eyeglasses?
It is. Now could we get on to something else?
Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions in the sides of your nose. I
Well,
hadn't noticed
she
that
had
before.
them.
That must be annoying. The woman who testified that she saw the killing
Was wearing
had
glasses.
those same marks on the sides of her nose.
Oh, she took them
Well, you know
off.
he's right.
It's be made by anything other than eyeglasses.
Probably not.
No, they couldn't.
If she was
You wore
tossing and
glasses when you
turning
go to bed?
in bed. Yeah.
No,
thank you.
I don't. No one wears eyeglasses to bed.
It's logical to assume that she wasn't wearing them when she was in bed, tossing and
Yeah,
turning,
what, she was
trying to
going to
fall
get him,
asleep.
put him
How do
on,
you
look
know?
out the window.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm also guessing that she probably didn't put her glasses on when she turned and looked casually out of the window, and she herself testified the killing took place just as she looked out.
No,
Don't you think
he's
the woman
hating
might have
it.
made a mistake?
No.
It's not possible.
No, it's
Really?
not possible.
You think he's guilty?
I think he's guilty.
Come on, buddy.
No. I'm convinced. Not guilty.
What's the matter with you?
I have a reasonable doubt now.
They're all like, come on, mate. Like,
Well, what do you want? I say he's guilty.
You want to hear your arguments?
Old man saw him right there on the stairs. What's the difference how many seconds it was?
but they're basing the evidence on this, so it's got to be, like,
The
precise.
knife falling through a hole in his pocket. And what about hearing the kid yell? Huh? I'm telling you, I've got
Just
all
because
the
you're getting
facts
louder
here.
doesn't mean you're any more right than
Yeah.
anyone else.
Well, that's it. That's the whole case.
Yeah, and didn't they discuss all of that? And they had an answer?
Well?
Well, one angry man at the moment.
You lousy bunch of bleeding hearts. You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. Rotten kids, you work your life out.
It is personal.
No.
It's like he wants payback.
Not guilty.
He wants to...
Not guilty.
Oh, it just hit him. It just hit him. That... He's so kind, this guy. I'm so glad he was in the room today. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if it was someone else?
What's your name?
Davis.
My name's
Davis.
McCardle.
Yeah, none of them said their names right that entire movie. Wow. Wow. All right, well, there you guys have it, 12 Angry Men. Honestly, that was one of the most brilliant movies I have ever seen. When I watch a movie, I absolutely love listening to dialogue, and I have to say the conversations and the back and forth between these 12 men was just always so captivating. I just wanted to know more and more, and they were just roping me in with everything that they were saying and all these different points they were bringing up, and how slowly but surely, one by one, they all just started having that reasonable doubt. The fact that in the beginning there was 11 for guilty and 1 for not guilty, and they somehow managed to flip it on its head. The 11 of them that were so positive that he was guilty, they made it very, very clear that it was going to be impossible to change their mind. And yet by the end of it, they all had a smidge of doubt in their mind, which is all you really need. I feel like this is a movie I'm going to recommend to a lot of my friends that haven't seen it. It is just so cleverly done. When he pulled out that knife that he had that was similar to the murder weapon, I was just like, yeah, you've got me, I'm roped in. I just knew it was going to be such an enjoyable watch for the rest of the film. And the fact that it took place in that one room for so long, and they were just working off each other, their performances were amazing, the dialogue was just back and forth. It was very, very robust points that they were making about the evidence in the case. Honestly, I was just captivated the whole time. I loved it. Thank you so much for voting this one on my Patreon. If you guys want to say on what I react to next, make sure that you join my polls here on Patreon. And if you've got any other movies like this as well, I'd love you to leave it in the recommendations below. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. But until then, I will see you guys next time.